Chuck.
What's the status, 3?
I'm good, just making the world a better place, that's all.
Between earth and God, I'm a byproduct. I come from a family of hustlers. That byproduct, money is the root of all evil. But I'm still trying to find a large profit. It's a mirage, they live in a facade. I was smoking thigh and had a talk with God. She told me why she named me John. I art the scriptures to shed light on the darker picture. If you my dog, I'm barking with you. You feeling the star of wisdom. My homie Chuck told me it was giants on earth before me. And chemtrails, we inhale. That's another story. Mercury is used to check temperature. The sun is the spirit sinking. The moon is the portal. Assuming you important. Set your turn. Mars is wars as the M turn. And change words. I'm in the game, but change service. I'm about to disassemble a bomb. I ain't nervous.
Drake, Dragon, Draco, Draconian, land of the giants, ice wall, Patagonian, lexicon, word wizardry, speaking Babylonian, highways of the vortex, shooting out the fallopian, low vibrating light, king of the material, mark of the beast, nanotech, scanning serial, the mental dead, carried by 6 to your burial, the lights is out. No resurrection, broken power grid, no interconnection. The Grim Reaper, I'm so collecting. 6-shot, hollow tip, rubber grip, Smith & Wesson. Bitch, repent when God is in your presence. Your aura is weak, uproot your essence. I walk through darkness, highly illuminated. Eyes blazing with fire with blades double serrated. Hunting down clowns I double hated. Hit so hard your jaw is elongated. Shatter egos like they was glass plated. This was long overdue, past dated. One shot deal, it is as is and no recreation. All praises due to my parents for making. Always appreciate and never abated. One.
The A is the M like the A is the E.
Check it, yo. I always be analyzing to see who's fake. People acting Janice, running around two-faced, talking behind my back until they put in their place. You're a 2-course meal without saying grace on the internet. Talking shit through your fingertips, talking high power till your shine is eclipsed. Trying to ride a wave until your mind is seasick. Cement shoes and your ankles tied with 3 bricks. This isn't Grand Theft Auto, this is real life. I will piss on your grave and throw dick to your wife. This is a warning mixed with some advice. You might be king, but I'm the ace of spades, and you just reneged. This is food for thought, bitch, eat a grenade. This is what people want. This beach treated like dirt. I tried being humble, but that was absurd. All the brainless bitches flock together like birds, pecking for crumbs until they merge with the crossroads and chuck the demi-urge. I think they had enough, I took the trash to the curb. Let the torture begin and watch them burn. Here's the urn.
It's hard to keep it real with fake people. They can take love, mix it with hate, and make evil. I'm staring at 50 shades of gray people. It's a grand deception, like K-Reno. They are who they say they isn't. On the internet, spreading everybody's business through a troll account. Talking foul, not knowing what goes around comes around. The flat out truth is the energy change when I come around. I guess London Bridge is falling down. Hey people, stall him out. We know all about the narrative painting. control the clout, they gatekeepers, trying to stop the ones trying to awake people.
Who would put a fucking plug in their head? So this is them drones someone caught. That's a big fucking drone, I'll tell you that much. I was wondering why the military was having these jets were flying over Hartford. I think it was yesterday. Yup. I think they were going up and down the Connecticut River. This is America, man. We should shoot those fuckers down. America's soft. Everyone's become soft. We let the communist people come here and make our country soft. Soft like a cotton ball. No, don't worry though, this guy will be here soon. That white cracker. I had a few of these girls before in my life, but God didn't show me a sign. So, who's seen that video of these Globers? I don't think it's come out yet. I'm just putting this rhyme together so I could put my verse on that track. That beat by Eminem, I think he made it, the Medicine Ball beat. See, people think they're gangster with a noisy chatterbox. Cut smooth when I brandish the ox. Steady hands like a surgical doc. Anyone could get it, I was raised in a melting pot. Nowadays you gotta duck cameras and cops. Plus you can't disconnect your battery being tracked non-stop. And I'll be damned if I'm locked in the box. Leave no digital footprint, scramble your IP. I'm allergic to the government like poison ivy. I don't know. I gotta. Can y'all hear that banging? Who the fuck's doing that shit? What's up, Lucid? Watt Life? Peace, DL and Warren. What if I said you will perish? Put the double barrel to your chest. Most people, it'll take a while for them to get it. I'm not going to use that punchline though. You know, Robert Parrish had the double zeros that looked like a double barrel. I said, you will perish. Put the double barrel to your chest. That's 2 zeros. Anyway, that'll go over most people's heads. Ah, there's Jay Heighton. Man, what are these people doing? They fucking changed StreamYard. They put this new, they want to charge people money to use the fonts. That's hilarious. Sonic the Hedgehog. I wonder if the Alaskan Avenger got out of prison. That's crazy. They lock people up for beating up chomos, right? But they won't lock a chomo up. What did I miss with Divergent here? Yeah, sure. Oh, I seen this fucking speech. Inaugurated. Some ding dong went on the internet and said, Trump hasn't done anything since he's been president. I'm thinking, what's wrong with the youth? Are they like brain stupid? Everyone knows you don't get inaugurated to January. The school has done a number on this new generation's minds, man. Not all of them, but a damn good amount. So it's an open panel. I'm just gonna sit back and see if anyone comes up like yesterday. I like that autodidactic. He's got a pretty good channel, especially when he had that woman on. Bro Sanchez, the final experiment discussion. I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to check it out. Cause out of all the flat earthers, they never invite Bro Sanchez, man. And I think I would have to say, if anyone should be invited, it should be him. For sure. They always leave Bro out, man. And I think that's blasphemy. But maybe because they know they won't be able. Well, everyone has a price, you know. They offered me $2 million to tell them we live on the ball. I would take it and be like, psych. You know. I can't believe the Satanism has been in my face this whole time with Santa, Satan, red, black, and white. What are these people banging on? I'm about to go downstairs and bang on their fucking forehead with a sledgehammer. Sounds like they're banging on the radiator pipes. Fucking idiots. Yeah, shout out to Simple Truth TV. He says the same thing he's like, this ain't no truth community. There's no community. I agree with him. Maybe in the beginning it was a community. That was 8 years ago, but yeah, Paul Cook, he does good videos about damn, this chick's butt is way too big. God damn, you could fucking put a 12-pack on there. Austin. Austin. Who's Austin? Steve Austin? Or the $1 Million Man? What was his name? Son, Austin. Ah, They Live. The final experiment in the fake flat earthers. Yeah, these guys. That's how it always works, man. They hire fake people to call themselves these flat earthers, right? You know, it's all to create diversions and distractions. They be just mad, these people. They have nothing better to do. They're just mad that someone popped their bubble. Let's watch this video. Let me see if I can download it. I want to get one of them things you put in your ear and it translates. Will Duffy. Will got duffed. Now, you mean to tell me they went all the way to Antarctica, allegedly? That could be anywhere. And to prove the shape of the ground? Confused here. You mean to tell me they went to some Antarctica, allegedly, to look up at the sky? You could do that anywhere. They're like, well, we're going to go to Antarctica. And, well, did they go around any curvature? Getting down there, allegedly? I don't know. I'm just saying. Oh. Okay, Jay Hine, I got it. I'm watching, well, this video is 17 minutes long. I have to chop it up into 3 fucking things. I have no hotspot, unfortunately. What's up, 3 fingers? Yeah, think about it. You know, you gotta have like juice to go to Antarctica, unless you want to just go look at a bunch of fucking penguins, right? And like when I look at the map, the moon map, if I left Connecticut, now it makes sense to me why the presence of military is so heavy in Connecticut. They have a giant nuclear sub base in Groton, Connecticut. And according to the moon map, I always thought I could leave Connecticut on a boat and go out to go to Europe. But in reality, I got to leave Connecticut and go up north, cross almost over the pole to go to Europe. You know, I've seen tons of videos of these fishing boats and shit. I don't in the ocean's just not for Chuck, man. I tried to go deep sea fishing on the boat, and I didn't think the rocking would affect me, but it did, like a little bitch. I couldn't even fish. That's how bad it was affecting me. There's nothing to debate. Yeah. I wonder myself, man, about these. How did they get the okay to go to Antarctica? That's the question. You know. What's up, Lucy?
What up, dude?
There's a lot of people that tried to go to Antarctica, but they got shot down. I just don't trust
Yeah.
this, you know, because common sense, you got to go all the way to Antarctica, right? This is my first thought. Like, you're going to go all the way. There's plenty of salt lakes or all types of shit that destroy this curvature without even going up in the air, right? So, all the numbers, and this is going by the numbers we were given by 8 inches per mile square. And even if you add onto it, it just, there's nothing. So, yeah, they think they've accomplished something by looking at the sun to see if the that's like I'm gonna look at the ceiling to level my floor.
Yeah. I'm to the point, dude, where I don't even fucking give a fuck about it, bro. Cause I mean, I know for myself what it is.
I'm not.
NASA
I
tells you
agree.
in the publication. If you look hard enough, you'll find that NASA tells you what it is. And want to fucking so I'm kind of beyond it at this point. I got life to live, bro. And I mean, I know it kind of sounds fucking like pussy boy shit to me a little bit that I'm fucking saying this, but it's kind of where I'm at with it, bro. I'm just, what's the point, dude? What's the point in us fucking continuing to fucking focus on this shit? I got a life, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't have nothing to prove to nobody.
Exactly. Exactly.
All this
People.
childish games. I don't got time for that shit. Even though the other day, Dominic was making me laugh, man.
Dom Tersini.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that guy's got a lot of fucking good knowledge, man. Fucking.
Yeah, people always give him shit, but
Yeah, I've been trying to fucking just, hear everybody out, man, and let them fucking speak their piece, bro. A lot of people, in my opinion, just living their life, man. And there's nothing else to really do at that point. Just live your life, create, do what you gotta do, man. For yourself, man, for others around you, and fuck everybody else says. I don't think it should be, bro. They've been waiting a lot of time on fucking bullshit. It doesn't fucking matter, dude. Like, nobody cares. And I was one of those people.
you sound a little choppy. You sound kind of choppy. I've been trying to fix it, but let me see.
Can you
Let me see. Huh. I turned off those things, but I smell toast. Yeah, while I was watching this channel, they live truth, and he's I don't. Antarctic. Looking like a Scarptic. Where is everybody?
fucking booted me?
Now you sound better.
Cool.
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just kind of done giving my fucking energy away to that shit, bro. Like, I got other more important shit to fucking handle. Trying to get back into the swing of fucking working and and gaining some resource, bro. For myself and my family and people that I care about.
That's good.
And I'll still fucking point people in the right direction here and there, but if they ain't asking about it, I ain't fucking talking about it, bro. You know what I mean? Because, man, I don't know how many people I've had tell me that I'm crazy or fucking, this and that. Not that I care, but it's like, why fucking bring about, harder times than you need to fucking actually experience, man. Because you know, you got your own life, man. Pour yourself into yourself, man, and fucking fill that cup up, bro. Fuck all that other shit. Somebody wants to talk about it, you know, and they, you know, come to me. You know, I'll tell them what I know. Or what I believe I know,
Right.
because you don't really know what you don't know, you know.
All praise is due to Allah. I'm joking. Do. I got a fucking headache. Holidays suck, man. Every year it's depressing. These stupid holidays. Makes me think about family and shit. Get out of my head. Forgot what movie that's from. I think it was Full Metal Jacket. He was like, get out of my head. He was hearing voices. I'm going to war.
Yeah. There's a whole big world out there, man, and people will find out for themselves. Truth will come out. Always does.
Yeah. You know, I think, you know, people done plenty of experiments. Like, D. Marble did a ton of them.
Yeah. Where'd that dude go?
I don't know. I have no clue.
In the fan life and fucking, yeah. But I haven't seen him in fucking years, bro.
I haven't seen Globers, right? This label called Globers. I haven't seen them do experiments. They just regurgitate out of textbooks.
That's the thing, bro, is everybody says that the other side is regurgitating, bro, and nobody really fucking knows. Like, I know what I've seen NASA say, and I know what I've seen, you know, all these fucking flat Earth, globe Earth arguments. I've put myself in that, and it's like, dude, what has it really got me, bro? I wasted fucking years of my life, bro, fucking arguing that shit, and it's like, I got more.
Not really. It wasn't a waste because you learned something from it. You could look back and say it's growth, right?
I mean,
You
yeah,
realize
it
a lot.
taught me how to listen, bro. Honestly, like if I got anything out of that whole fucking argument, bro, it taught me how to shut the fuck up and listen to what people have to say without fucking regurgitating my own fucking nonsense. You know?
I never really debated people on it. I would talk to my friends and they would tell me I'm stupid and, you know, they would laugh and I'm looking at them like, I was trying to explain to my friend about the sun coming over the horizon. And, you know, I hate to say it, but he's fucking an idiot. The common sense is burnt out of his brain. And he's looking at me dumbfounded.
Yeah. Well, and that's because he was programmed fucking, you know, to believe whatever the fucking TV tells him. And now they're starting to come out with it. Rose was fucking watching, what's her name? Candace Owens.
Oh, man.
Candace Owens fucking goes off and says the earth is fucking flat, bro.
No, for real?
Yeah. So it was like, yeah, dude, I mean, truth comes out, bro. And if people want to look at it, they want to look at it. If they don't, they're not, you know, they're not going to. It's just, you know.
You seen this? Divergent, I think, took this from a 1930s Disney cartoon. I really don't want to say the things, but it says how to take over the world. This is their plan. Then it says introduce weaponized.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. Then it says use law enforcement to
Stifle and dissent.
yeah.
Stifle dissent.
And then it says
Whoa, dude. Talking
yeah.
about the
And look at
Bobby.
yeah. And it says the people who own the banks. Yeah.
And then it's
These
you.
people are sick, man. But once again, let's just sit back and do nothing. Man, when I see these little children, I seen this little kid, man, he had 7 tumors. I'm just like, man. I sit back and think and I complain. Sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what am I complaining about?
I'm gonna mute up. I got, but
This is from Star Wars.
yeah, the 2 sons.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel something ain't right with this shit here.
What?
I wonder if there's a way we could find out if they copy pasted the other son.
I don't know, dude. People been talking about 2 sons for a long fucking time, bro. Hundreds of years.
It could
Looks
be
like-
the simulator, but
Where'd that picture come from? The
this
light
one?
pyramid. Yeah.
Oh, I was looking up cosmology, and this came from
Okay.
I don't remember, but
Yeah, see, dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, it's like the evidence is overwhelming. Like, it's over fucking whelming. And if anybody really took the fucking time to look at it, you know, truth will come to him, bro. It will come to, you know, that discernment and fucking.
yeah, you don't have to prove the truth to anybody. No one had to
Exactly.
prove anything to me. It resonated. It made more sense to me.
Bro.
The numbers added up. All of these numbers they give us in textbooks in school have been pretty much Eric Dubé has fucking destroyed all them numbers. Shout out to Eric Dubé.
Yeah.
And people like try to discredit people and call them agents and this and that. Like, unless you got full proof,
Yeah.
I don't even like doing that. Because even you could learn from agents.
Well, there's no such thing as proof other than your own 2 eyes. If you're able to see, you know, there's evidence. You can have evidence for, you know, a claim, but to be able to really prove it, it's kind of hard, bro.
Yeah, if we could travel.
We came upon all this information, and you know, I tried talking to people, and they just aren't receptive, and they don't really care, dude. Like, nobody really cares about themselves, about the truth, or nothing. You know what I mean? It's
I like this picture here.
yeah, no shit. Yeah, that was one
Yeah.
of the things that got me too, bro. That video of the pilot flying over the sun, bro. Like
Well, this is
all
the
those
drone.
numbers are fucking. It's made to look like one or the other. It's like a giant fucking argument to keep people divided.
Yeah.
You know, it's flat, it's round. No, it's not. It's fucking cube.
It's shaped like a pizza.
It's a banana. I'm going with what was it? Banana Earth. Who did that? What was it? Oh, I can't remember.
But there's so much evidence to disprove the ball, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
It's either flat
inside the ball makes sense to me.
It's either flat or it's way bigger than what they say, you know. And either way, they're hiding land. Either way, they're fucking controlling the masses. And I don't even like to use the word they, but like,
What do you think about these drones?
I could give a fuck less about the drones, man. Let it come. Whatever it is, let it fucking come. I know, if I got to protect my family, I'm going to. You know. Other than that, I could give a fuck less about this fuck drone or orbs or whatever the fuck.
Huh.
When it poses a direct, immediate threat to me, then that's when I'll fucking start giving a fuck. Until then, I'm gonna do me, man. Fucking do my music, raise my boy, be there for Rose, fucking be there for other people in my community. You and a couple other people.
I said, I was listening to Medicine Ball. I need my medicine, y'all. I lost it. I forgot what the rest was.
What's up,
Oh,
Charles and Lucid?
I need my medicine, y'all. I said speedballing to a McDonald's straw. What's up, Cade?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What up, Cage?
Oh,
What do you think about Eminem biting your style, Cage?
No shit.
I know you mentioned that last time I was on here. What are we looking at here?
I don't know what this is. It looks like a
Sundial or yeah, that's got to be a dial. I don't know what that is, bro. What's that say in the middle?
I don't know either. A bunch of Hebrew.
Hebrew. Yep.
These are just the clock.
Sky clocks, man.
Yeah.
I looked it up. It's called fucking Speculum Kabbalisticum.
Huh.
Symbolic map containing Christian, Hermetic, and Kabbalistic principles.
Cause I got this looking up some alchemy stuff, I think.
Yeah. It says IHS in the middle. How you been, Lucid? Everything good on your end?
Oh man, I've fucking been working my ass off, dude. I've been working with fucking insulation lately and tearing my throat up. I've fucking been wear a mask, but it's still getting through the mask. It's like, ugh.
You need a specific. Oh, right. I'm hearing it.
Oh, it's probably me, dude. Let me refresh.
Peace Void, Tommy Rogers. I wonder what Eric Dubé's real name is.
Is that better? Mic check.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just been working my ass off, bro. Trying to do something for myself and others. How about you, Cage? How's life?
Same old.
Yeah.
Same here. Just taking care of business, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, with that mask thing, you need a certain micron to filter those particulates from the insulation. The 3M one, there's different grades, right? There's ones that'll filter out like fucking gases and shit, like from paint.
Royal Bloodline. What makes them royal, right? I think we're all royalty.
The fact that they call themselves royal, that's what makes them royal.
Royal, they're royally, huh? The Kansas City Royals.
Ugh.
What have you guys been looking into lately? Anything new?
Yeah, I've been
Not really.
AI you showed me the other day. Talking to it, man. Talking to a computer, talking to myself, man.
Yeah, this AI stuff.
Have you seen the AI stuff I've been doing, Charles?
Yeah. Plus, you showed it to me on this channel too.
I did, eh?
I mean, you're having conversations with yourself. I mean, that's AI's come a long way, man, and that's dangerous stuff we're playing with here. Because the next thing is going to be setting people up.
Yeah, I think the stuff we're playing with is like a Nerf gun compared to what they have, like a fucking AK. Yeah. It's like we're playing with the fucking Nerf, and they have like the real shit, the real weapon.
Because I remember, I think it was Daz from Snoop Dogg's Dog Pound was selling a microphone. And I remember this is years ago. You could, whatever, you could sound like Tupac or Snoop. And this was through a microphone, like maybe 12 years ago. This is like 2010, I heard of this. So, how long have they truly had this?
The fuck was that? Yeah, I respect your fucking work ethic, though, Lucid. You know, a lot of people in your position probably would have went on like disability or something. Really, fuck that. I'm going back to work.
December paganism is in the air, and so are a bunch of heathens.
True that, man. Fuck. Everywhere you look.
Fuck them.
But I've been the heathen times.
I was watching this video of these people who live near the pole, and it'd be like negative 30 degrees. Like, it's insane. Where if you throw water in the air, it'll freeze. Who the fuck would want to live in that type of shit?
It's like that.
We're about to get there like tomorrow. It's about to go down to negative 15 with the wind and shit. It's gonna be like negative 25.
When?
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow over here.
Oh, thank God it won't be over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it gets
Fuck the winter, man. Warm
I
area.
don't give a fuck. I'll go out there and make a bonfire when it's like negative 30.
Yeah.
I want a woman that could cook. For some reason, the women, out of all the women, well, not a lot. You know, I'm not a whore, but out of the women that I've been with, one knew how to cook real good. One. I had a Spanish
cook
woman.
better than the women I've been with most of the time. Yeah.
And she couldn't cook not a lick of Spanish food. It was depressing. But hey.
Another time, another life, man.
I got this, wish I could share my screen for this. I forgot I had downloaded this PDF on Rupus Nigra.
I made a fucking Manly P. Hall bot, bro. It's on point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I had another guy, I think it was OTW. I was on his thing. He's like, can you make one that's trained on the Bible? So I got one that's like expertly trained on the Bible and all the other religious texts. And it's in the voice of Alan Watts.
Oh yeah.
Peace, Kamamba.
I imagine he's gonna come out with some dope shit. OTW, man.
Damn. Paul Logan. The Logans are fucking a joke. They ain't no fighters. He might train a little bit, but he's too bitch to fight a real boxer.
I just seen he's fighting McGregor apparently. I just seen a post of it.
Logan Paul.
McGregor again?
Well, they already fought before?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wait. No. That was McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. That's right. It's a joke, man.
It's a mockery of the fucking sport, bro. Really.
Yeah, I'm surprised Nate Diaz whooped his ass.
Oh yeah, Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz is a beast. I even think MMA is becoming rigged too, man.
It's all rigged, bro. It's all fucking rigged. Because you know where the majority of the money is being made off bets, right? So if you can influence
Yeah,
that, they
of
can bet on
course.
themselves even or their family, right? Like, here, take this millions I'm gonna make and bet it on like 10x.
Right, especially if you know you're gonna lose, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's rigged,
What's that
bro.
quote? What's that quote? Giving circuses and food.
Bread and
Oh, circuits
circuses,
and
the
bread.
Roman Empire. Yeah, bread and circuses.
The Romans were faggots. That's why the Germans stomped their frame out. The Germans whooped a lot of people's ass in history.
The Roman Empire is still here. It never really fell. It just became like the fucking Vatican and shit.
The guy who invented those goggles you see in that movie They Live was German.
Yeah, I've never watched that movie yet. I gotta add that. I've never seen that one yet.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Okay, does AI have the ability to create its own original ideas?
Yeah, it can. Yeah.
Yeah. I
It can
wonder if
make
you
up.
could ask AI to make like motors and fucking new technology.
Yeah, it can for sure. It'll probably base it off already known technology, though. Where is that? The firmament? The egg?
I don't
Cosmic
know.
egg?
I'll tell you one thing though. I hate these dollar lighters. I'm very interested in these goggles here. The chemical, I wrote it down. The chemical is called
Dionysin.
yeah, Dicyanin.
Dicyanin and dicet. I don't know. Yeah, AK was telling me about that a long time ago, man. I kind of went down that rabbit hole too.
Yeah, you're talking about that It's like a band coating that's put onto things. Like it was used in the army. The people in the army start seeing some weird shit. So
Started shooting the fucking guns at seemingly nothing.
Yeah, the story when they use these in Vietnam is pretty interesting. I would love to see, because it kind of reminds me in the Bible when it said this God made it so people can't see, because allegedly we were able to see the other realm, and then he made it so our eyes couldn't see it. Yeah, probably took these damn goggles away.
Hey Chuck, did you ever look up Faces by the Moon? There's this one guy on TikTok that he's got some kind of app or something. Maybe it's not night vision, but something else. Where he looks up at the moon, dude, and there's this fucking looks like a zombie face, bro, coming off the moon. And then there's some other people that caught this other face by the moon in Ireland and fucking South America, all kinds of different places, right after the eclipse. And yeah, it's pretty wild, man. I've seen shit like that myself. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was going crazy, dude. And fucking, yep. Wild shit, man. Wild shit. Yeah, check that out if you get a chance. Faces by the Moon. And see, that's why I'm like, man, it could all be fucking funky ass shit, you know, that, you know, it's just misinformation or CGI or something that. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, nah, man, I saw that shit with my own eyes, bro. Saw that shit with my own eyes. All right, but I gotta get ready for work. But I'll stay up here and listen. I'm just gonna mute up.
All right.
I'm gonna show you this Manly Hall fucking bot. I'll send you the link if you want to ask it shit. It's good if you want to do research and stuff. It's actually a lot easier than.
Yeah, that shit's hard, bro. That shit's hard as fuck.
What, the AI guy?
Yeah, check
It's a
him out.
new one I created. Leave the other one backstage. Oh, we got Dominic in the building. What's up, Dominic?
Just who I was looking for.
What up, Dom?
Hey, Lucid. Hey, Cage. Hey, Charles.
Did you that picture Chapman's fucking 13 years in the league, and he's throwing 107 miles an hour. He kind of makes Randy Johnson look like a peewee. This guy's got a fucking arm. Damn, I didn't know Chapman was 13 years in already. I forgot he played with the Yankees. But anyway.
You're really into that baseball stuff, huh, Charles?
I used to be more into it. I used to know numbers and fucking.
It's a Masonic sport in nature. That video I played breaking it down.
I mean,
This is a Manly PR one. What do you want me to ask it, Charles? I'll show you the capabilities.
ask who the real Donald Trump is. No, I don't know. Ask his son. Ask AI if it's real, as a soul.
It's gonna say no automatically. Are you real and do you have a soul? And define a soul in an esoteric sense.
As an artificial intelligence, I am not a human and do not possess a soul in the same way that humans do. Some people define a soul as a non-physical entity that survives the physical death of the body and continues to exist in some form. Others view the soul as the essence of an individual, which encompasses their consciousness, personality, and unique life experiences. In an esoteric sense, the soul is often seen as the aspect of an individual that is connected to a higher spiritual reality beyond physical existence.
That one's on point, no? Give us a crash course of esoteric teachings.
Esoteric teachings typically refer to hidden or secret knowledge that is not widely known and is only shared with those who are initiated into certain spiritual or philosophical systems. These teachings are often related to spiritual or metaphysical concepts and practices that are believed to lead to spiritual awakening or enlightenment. Some of the key themes of esoteric teachings may include the existence of a higher spiritual reality and the potential for individuals to access it. The idea that the physical world is an illusion or a reflection of a higher reality. The use of rituals, meditation, and other practices to access higher states of consciousness.
Continue.
I know that voice from somewhere, man. It almost sounds like Admiral Byrd a little bit.
It's Manly P. Hall.
Yeah, I know, but I've heard that
guy,
voice.
Yeah, the secret teachings of all ages. Remember?
Yeah.
You remember the other night there, Cage, when we were asking it about presidents and policies?
Yeah.
Well, ask AI, why do we pay taxes?
Why do people pay taxes? Give us a deeper meaning behind it.
The payment of taxes is a necessary aspect of a functioning society. Taxes are used to fund many vital public services and programs, such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. In the broader sense, taxes represent a way for individuals to contribute to the collective good and support the overall wellness and functioning of society. On a deeper level, paying taxes can also be seen as an act of civic responsibility and a demonstration of one's commitment to the community and society they live in. It is a way for individuals to play their part in maintaining the social contract and contributing to the collective prosperity and security of society.
Tell Manly P. Hall, who are you fooling? No.
But when you start asking the direct questions and going deeper, like who collects the taxes? What is the purpose of the government? Can you add in where's the correlation with corporations? Once you start going deeper, and then Manly P. Hall, and I'm not even saying Manly P. Hall, whatever name you use here, and then they'll start saying things, they'll start quoting things. I said, no, I want to hear your personal view. Then you start catering, and then it gives you more, it will go through all that other stuff. Then you can start bringing in, okay, so how does it correlate with the United Nations and the World Bank? These are all the kind of questions you can ask. You don't have to worry about its feelings. It will go in more. That's the advantage of this technology. Yeah.
What about these private banks? Like, remember I was reading the other day about this private. It was the International Finance, the IF. It was the International Finance shit. I forgot the last word there, but
World Banks. IMF.
Yeah. I know once the U.S.
The IFC, International Finance Corporation.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. IFC.
You could ask all those questions to Manly P. Hall, and he'll break it down for you.
Yeah. Should I ask it about the IFC?
Go ahead.
Tell me about the role of the IFC.
The International Financial Corporation, IFC, is an organization within the World Bank Group that provides investment and advisory services to private sector businesses in developing countries. Its primary goal is to support economic growth and job creation in these countries through investment in sustainable, high-impact businesses. The IFC operates as a commercial investment company, investing in companies that adhere to certain social and environmental standards and promote economic development in the regions they operate in. By providing financing, investment, and advisory services to private companies, the IFC aims to reduce poverty and support the growth of viable private enterprises in developing countries.
So now you can add into things like, how does the IFF, whatever you want to call it, associate with the Singapore stock market or other kind of inner corporations? And if this thing is what it is, it will actually have to give you the information. It's not going to hold back. Again, you have to cater to it, opposed to this with only your way of thinking. You got to start putting things together. Like, how does it IFF finance the music industry, for example?
How does
The International Finance Corporation, IFC, does not directly finance the music industry, as its primary focus is on financing and investing in businesses that promote economic development in developing countries. However, there may be some indirect connections between the music industry and the work of the IFC. For example, some private companies in the music industry, such as record labels or music streaming services, may be eligible for financing or investment from the IFC if they meet certain criteria. The stock market is a marketplace where investors can buy and sell shares of ownership in publicly traded companies.
Then you can start breaking it down.
I wonder what Manly P. Hall would think about this.
Don't worry about Manly P. Hall as much, Charles, because I got mine. I got Felix the Cat on it, so it's just a voice,
What's good, everybody? What's good? Mic check. 1 2 1 2. What's up, Charles, bro?
What up?
What's good in the hood, man?
What's up, Trinzo?
Hey, I heard you asking AI questions. Hey, ask it this question. Ask him, what's the personification of Similar Mortus? Simulator Mortus. Ask him what that is.
Sorry, say those words again at the end.
Ask him what personifies Simulator Mortus.
The name Silvator may refer to a character or persona that possesses.
I'm pronouncing it wrong. Can you type it in the private chat for me?
Give me 1 minute. I'll type it in there.
I'm not familiar with that word.
Hey, Cage, can we go this way? Charles can hear it. Who makes the policies for the? Oh, go ahead.
Who makes the policies for what, Donald?
Who makes the policies for the president?
Huh.
Who makes the policies for the president?
The banks.
The United States federal government has a system of checks and balances, where the power of the presidency is balanced by the power of Congress and the courts. Policies are ultimately created by Congress, which is composed of the House of Representatives and the Senate. The president has the power to veto a bill passed by Congress, but it can be overridden by a 2/3 vote in both the House of Representatives and the Senate. Additionally, the courts have the power to interpret laws and declare them unconstitutional. So the answer to your question is that policies for the presidency are created by Congress.
Question before you go to TZ, hold a second. Do these policies that are made, do they have to be citizens of America?
Do the policies that are made, do they have to be made by citizens of the United States of America?
Yes, the policies that are made by the U.S. government are typically proposed and voted on by members of Congress, who are elected representatives of citizens of the United States. So, in a sense, these policies are made by citizens of the United States indirectly through their elected representatives. The policymaking process is guided by the principles and laws of the U.S. Constitution, which outlines the powers and responsibilities of different branches of government and sets guidelines for creating and enforcing laws.
Okay, so at that point now,
typically, give me an example of when it's typically not U.S. citizens creating these policies.
While typically the policies made by the U.S. government are created by members of Congress, there are certain situations where this may not be the case. Examples include: 1. Lobbying. Special interest groups such as corporations or nonprofit organizations may lobby lawmakers to influence the creation of policies that benefit their interests. These groups are not elected representatives, but may have significant influence on the policy-making process. 2. executive orders. The president, as the head of the executive branch, has the authority to issue executive orders, which have the force of law and can create policies outside of the legislative process.
Thanks, Cage. Because I was going to ask you, you can even ask it,
Agree, sir.
who wrote the Constitution and were they actually citizens? And once you start getting into all of that, it'll give you a better clarity. But anyway, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, true. Okay, yeah, with those two words, what was the question you want to be asking again about that? The Silvator Mortis, sort of.
Yeah, Simulator Mortis. I put it in the back chat.
Yeah, what was the question about it?
Ask him what it mean. Ask AI what it mean.
The word Silvator Mortis can have different meanings depending on the context and language in which it is used. However, Silvator Mortis can mean something along the lines of forester of death. The Latin roots of the word are interesting. Silva meaning forest, ator meaning doer, maker, and mors meaning death. So Silvator Mortis could be a metaphor for a being or entity that brings death to the forest.
Hey, hold up. 1 second. Now listen. If you call yourself African American, that means you're Simulator Mortus. That means you're dead in the eyes of this system. And they label us as dead. So if you saying you black, if you saying you African American, you saying you spiritually dead, man. That's what that shit mean, man. They got so-called black people calling themselves subconsciously Simulator Mortus, saying we dead, bro. See how they do us, man? But go ahead, man. Y'all got it, man. See how they do it, though?
Correlate to black people and the meaning that.
No. I'm saying look up. No, hold on. Look up African American. It means
I
Simulator Mortus.
apologize if my previous response gave the impression that the phrase Silvator Mortis has anything to do with black people or the idea that they are dead. Let me clarify that the phrase Silvator Mortis is a Latin term that can be read as forester of death or something along those lines. The phrase has no inherent racial connotations, and it is not associated with any negative or derogatory meaning towards black people.
Man, that motherfucker lying, man. I can share my screen right now and pull up what African American mean. That damn thing lying.
Hold on. Put African American, not black. Maybe that's where you're trying to go with the TZ.
Let me find out AI's
Correlation
program
between African Americans.
Man, that motherfucker lying, bro. You know, maybe go get some sources, man.
It doesn't lie. It's gotta ask.
As far as I know, there is no specific correlation between the Latin phrase Silvator Mortis and African Americans. The phrase itself is a metaphorical or symbolic term that can have multiple interpretations, but it has no inherent meaning related to race or ethnicity. Therefore, it would be incorrect to draw a connection between Silvator Mortis and African Americans in any meaningful or significant way.
Lies.
Well, you could break it down and ask more questions and then cater to what you've heard. And then this way it will eventually have to answer the way it came to be. You know,
lies.
So,
that motherfucker cap, man. Go ahead.
They're all probably lying to us. The language itself is a lie.
Create a correlation between African Americans and that Latin term.
It would be irresponsible and incorrect to create a correlation between African Americans and the Latin term Silvator Mortis, where there is no inherent meaning or relationship between them. It would be misleading and potentially harmful to create a false association between a Latin phrase and a specific racial group, especially if that association is negative or derogatory. Additionally, such a correlation would not have any basis in reality and would not have any significance or value. Therefore, I cannot create a correlation between African Americans and the Latin term Silvator Mortis, as it would be misleading and baseless.
Man, so hold on. Somebody pull up right now, type in African American and Silvator Mortus in the Google search engine, and I guarantee that pulls up. That damn thing kept. I don't know where you got it from. That motherfucker lying.
Can you search the internet for a correlation between that?
I have searched online for information about the Latin term Silvator Mortis and its potential connections or correlations to African Americans. However, I was unable to find any credible or reliable sources that mention any correlation between the two. The term Silvator mortis is a Latin phrase that has been used in various contexts over time, but it does not appear to have any specific connection to African Americans.
Where did you find it, TZ? So this way a Cage can ask it to look it up.
You know what? I'm gonna blow that damn AI. I'm gonna blow that AI out the water, man. I'm gonna post that publication on my community tab later just to prove that motherfucker is lying.
It's been probably recorded to do that. But you said it was
not lying though. It just doesn't have that information available.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Cage. Yeah, it's on. Just type it in on the Google search engine, and a publication will pull up, and it says verbatim, African American. There's no diametrical difference between African American and civil mortus. Because you're saying you're African American, that's a nomenclatural title. That means you're dead in the eyes of the law. Mort means death. So if you're saying you in these even if you're saying you're white, it means you're dead in the eyes of the law.
Okay, so if you could,
I did. Matter of fact, I did a whole video about this last year, bro. I got the publication on over there on my channel, man. But I don't know if that thing don't know, like you said, but I know what I'm talking about.
Well, if you could literally, because this is obviously it's activated to Cage's voice, but if you could talk the way you just said that to that, it would actually search that, because you're asking Cage to give it. So you're saying it's if you look up in Google, is that what you're saying, TZ?
Yeah. Type it in the Google search engine, African American civil mortus, and it'll pop up. The publication will pop up, matter of fact.
Okay, so why don't you, Cage, ask the AI to do the exact same thing, to look it up exactly what TZ's saying.
Yeah, it could. Or if you're on a computer, choose that. I can give you the link and you can talk to it.
No, you could. Well, can't you do it now, Cage? Yeah, you could do that too. Yes.
Nah, I ain't on a computer, big dog.
Ask it to Google it.
It's funny, that thing know everything else, but it don't know. It's trying to play it up like it don't know what that means. That computer know what it means.
It probably does.
When searching online for information about the phrase Silvator mortis in relation to African Americans, I was unable to find any credible or reliable sources that linked the two. No significant correlation or connection between the two was found in my search. The phrase Silvator mortis is a Latin phrase that refers to a forester of death and does not have any specific meaning or connotation in relation to African Americans. It is important to avoid creating false connections or implications between unrelated.
Okay. Yeah, I see what it's doing. I got the publication though, but I see what that thing is doing.
Yeah, it's saying I can ask you for non-credible ones, like whatever information you have, tell me. Kind of thing.
It's only all AI does is sift through whatever it finds on the internet. That's it.
Yeah. It's an informative information, but if there's cross references, I guess.
Right. If it's like I did a whole breakdown about that topic twice. I think once or twice I've done breakdowns about it with real sources too. So I don't know what the hell that thing talking about.
Oh, this is the thing. This is where you're going to have a struggle then, TZ, if you're presenting to other people, because either they're going to do cross reference and say they use AI now. They're going to either say, well, one source, which is you, is saying this, but they're going to say, well, AI and all the other hundreds of different sources aren't doing the correlation. This is how a lot of information gets misinformation from other sources. Next thing you know, they're going to look at you as weird, like, well, we didn't find it. And that's just how any information works.
I got the receipts. Anything I say, man, I got receipts. I don't, like I say all the time, I don't come up here just to be talking, just to talk, man. I got receipts. Anything I say.
I was going to say it's in Black's Law. That's one of the first things that pops up, the Black's Law thing.
Yeah, that's what it is, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, but
this is why when you go in court, they want you. Right. This is why when you go in court, they want you to classify yourself as Black or African American, because you're dead in the eyes of the law. You have no rights. Even that's what I'm saying. You can't call yourself a citizen either. You can't call yourself a citizen, African American, or Black or white.
It's not just Black. It's not just African Americans. It's every U.S. citizen, right? Because they have an
Right, right.
entity filed
That's what I was
underneath
just
them
saying.
called
Hold on, bro.
Afro-American.
That's what I was just
So,
saying. I just said that.
yeah.
I said if you calling yourself a United States citizen, you don't have no rights. You're legally dead. And with these other titles too, with these other classifications, black, African American, and white, all that's works. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, anytime you go into commerce court, any court system that's throughout the world is commerce court. So you basically have to convict yourself, first of all, when you're in commerce court. Best thing you could do when you're in commerce court, say, can I settle this out of court? So when you're in there, you have to identify yourself with your capital letters and all that. That validates that you are already delusional, thinking that you're the flesh. So once you go in there and you worry about the color of your skin, the capital of your name, and all that kind of stuff, you're already behind the eight ball. Literally, that term, behind the eight ball. So the best thing you could do in commerce court, you're not getting justice in commerce court. If you think you're getting that, then you don't understand. Well, I'm not saying you, TZ. Most people aren't going to understand that. So there's a reason why we have judges and lawyers. The judge is just the captain of the ship. You have a fence there and all that kind of stuff. That's all about economics. And they treat humans, anything that comes out of a womb, that's cattle. I don't care if you
Right.
call them.
That's why I said that's why they call us Americans. We're a bunch of canned goods because you calling yourself we all these
Echo.
things.
That's a good word, by the way, TZ.
Economics. What are they echoing?
Us, the form, of course. This is why this is a spiritual realm and a material realm. You want to play with flesh and blood, you got to play by their rules, and they usually play above those rules. So once again, anybody that wants to play that, I don't know, free man or whatever game and all that, run again, because this realm's already been ruled, and the ones that you're actually dealing with, they're just their minions. Judges, whether they know it or not, they're their minions. Usually the judge is getting whispered in his ears, okay, this guy's going to be probably convicted. You want to give lethal injection or imprisonment because there's other markets outside that are making buck off of that. So
America's the only country where 20% of its population's in a prison. I think it's more than that.
Yeah, well, because America,
the only country.
Yeah, well, you got to keep in mind, Charles, America's currency is the one that's forcing everybody else to trade internationally. You change that currency to something else, you'll see how their citizens become imprisoned. This is not.
Y'all can look this up. You know who makes up? You know who makes up the majority of the population in these prisons across this so-called nation? So-called blacks.
Yeah.
They got us jammed in these, bro. When I was locked up, bro, majority of the dudes I was locked up with was young dudes that look just like they look just like me, man. And that's who made a majority. That's who makes a majority of the population. Y'all can look that up. That ain't me just saying. I'm not even being biased. That's just the cold hard truth.
Even in the Fed, the usually who has the biggest gangs in prison is the blacks. The white people.
Ask yourself why they got us locked up like this. At a vast majority like this, it's not a coincidence they got us all locked up like this. It's not a coincidence, bro. I always thought that to myself, like, why they got us all here like this, man, for bullshit charges?
Well, they make a lot of money off of people, unfortunately. TZ.
Well,
I'm asking why they got one certain group. We make up. I'm saying so-called blacks. We make up the majority of the.
I don't think a lot of it's bullshit charges. Some of them are, but I think they go way overboard on. These sentencings, like you get caught with crack, you're getting 10, 12 years, but a chomo comes along and only gets a year or two.
Bro, Charles, bro, my dog, I was locked up back in 2010, bro. They had a chomo and work release with me, dog. He was a fucking chomo. He was in work release with us, bro. And then they gave my homie came in, they gave him 10 years for a bullshit charge, bro.
Got their fucking heads off.
Again, guys.
Yeah, they go overboard with these sentencings, man.
But again, once you make it personal, Charles, not to take it away from the poor humans that are being jailed, these are private corporations, and everybody else are just numbers. So whether or not, now, not taking away TZ said that is valid stats. But once you start understanding they're making thousands and thousands of dollars off of all of that stuff, they really don't care who they put in there. When they start picking certain people, stragglers or whatever, they're putting them in there. This is about business for them. The ones that are in jail aren't really going to understand. That's all
You
numbers.
get the number in there for
Yeah,
real.
facts, bro. Facts, bro. That's because they don't. You're not identified as your name when the
Right.
sergeant or the CO come in
Maybe
the
like
door.
inmate number.
You're right.
Yeah.
They ask what your SIN number is, what your VIN number. It's basically
Yeah.
like a
They don't
a
care
car.
about your name. They just want to know your number. That's it. I've never had a CO ask me my name. They would do count and they'd be like inmate number. That's how I memorized it because they're asking it like 7 times a day.
Like, put it this way, they do a lot of psychology. So, for example, you pay a certain athlete, let's talk about athletes, you pay them hundreds of millions of dollars in a certain position. They know that's going to bring a ripple effect to the next generation. Parents are going to want to raise their kids to be that quarterback. You know, you make it so that you break down the families and the communities dynamic and all that. You're going to have a lot of people committing crimes. Now, whether they use them for prisoners or, hey, why don't you work for us in the military? In most places in other parts of the world, the reason why they don't have that much prison, all that, because they actually get them to work for their military. That's why a lot of countries have really big militaries. In America, is because they're also the international country. They go everywhere. They have to do everything. They got to make a buck off of their prisons, both in the jails, in the military, for the sports. You know, it's just different variation of what they do with us as cattle. Now, when
They're
you
making crazy money. You're right about that, Dom. They're making crazy money off of each prisoner, man.
Yeah, but again, once you make it personal, then you're not going to see the bigger picture. You'll just see how it affects you, and it's small it's really small. That'll be like living in Asia and thinking, well, we're everywhere. Yeah, but if you make it this about yourself, they're going to say, yeah, but I'm not having a good opportunity. But when you start looking at the bigger picture, you realize Asians are everywhere. That's a different way of infiltrating countries.
Hey, hold on, Don. For me, man, it's personal, bro, because I lived it. I seen. Hold on, bro. I seen a lot of. I'm not being biased, man. It angers me because I'm thinking to myself, why? I'm not saying that these dudes is perfect, but I'm saying this is from what I witnessed. This is from self-experience. I've been to jail numerous of times. I'm not bragging about this shit because I feel like jail's for dummies. But I'm saying when I looked around, I seen majority of the population with the same so-called skin complexion as me, and I'm not being racially biased. But I'm saying I always ask myself. But we used to have conversations like, I used to have conversations with guys like, "Hey, man, why they got us locked up like this? Why they harassing, bro? They tried to put a robbery charge on me one time, man.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like
I'm with
me
you.
and hold on, bro. Me and my brothers walking down the street, and I could have sued them for this. We got somebody said we robbed a store, and we didn't even rob a fucking store, bro.
I'm not taking that away from
Guess what they was doing? They was basing it off the color of my so-called skin, bro.
Yeah.
Reason why they pulled me over. What stopped me while I was walking.
I'm not taking that away from you, TZ. I sympathize. You know, it's no different when for you know, at least decades when they were really abusing the Africans. You know, where was the rest of us as the world? You know, they gave us a couple of songs. No, the Africans, they were depopulating them. You know, and each individual that probably, let's say they survived or whatever, they have personal stories. But where was the rest of the world? Where was the rest of the world when India was being ripped apart?
Right.
Alone China, you know.
I'm not playing the victim card, bro. I'm being a thou wow, man. I'm just being 1,000. I'm telling them from self-experience, bro. I only can go off of what I lived and what I saw. You know, it's just the truth. Some people don't want to live in the truth. Some people don't, they reject, oh no, that's not happening. Motherfucker, I seen it with my own eyes. I was around it. I was there. I seen it with my own eyes.
Again, you're talking from the ground, and this is what happens when people talk from the ground. It has a little bit of legs, and then everybody just forgets about it, like goldfish syndrome. So what's going on in America has been going on in other countries, and there's people that have talked about this in all different parts of the world, and it is personal. This is what I'm trying to say. It never grows legs. Because you got to make it more than.
I feel like things just need to change, man. I want this whole institution to be burned down. I want the whole judicial for all people, bro. It ain't got nothing to really do with color. Because I see everybody get victimized by this system, bro. So I want the whole system to collapse, bro. Because Charles, you know how it is, bro. When you get locked up, you get treated worse than cattle, man. You get treated worse than a fucking dog, bro. You don't even get treated like you said. You get treated like a number, bro. They can do anything they want with you. They can whoop your ass in there. They can beat you. I seen dudes get their ass whooped. Bro, I seen dudes get their ass whooped by the CO, stew in the hole. They can't make no phone calls home to their people. So, Charles, you know what I'm talking about?
Starving people in there, bro. Starving.
You know what I'm talking about, man?
Yeah, well, no different in India when a lot of kids go missing, and then they take all these kids, they burn off their eyes, cut off their hands, and then they peddle them outside on the streets for
man.
money.
You got some big country bunking coming in there with a chip on his shoulder. His wife ain't fucking him. He a weirdo. He coming in there. He want revenge. He gonna come in there and beat your ass. Man, I seen it happen all the time, bro. Telling you, man. Charles, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I seen what you're talking about in India, right? Like, remember Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah, that happens all the time, Cage. There's a lot of many that when the Asians were complaining to governments from other countries and telling their citizens, they're literally flying people in and taking live organs from human beings and all that kind of stuff. This shit's going on throughout the world, and whether
a little child and make them blind and then make them go panhandle on the street and then take all the money.
Now, whether or not they want to, like, I get it, we're coming from TZ, burn down the world. That feeds into the let's depopulate, because they've already discussed having a third war. They will depopulate the Muslims against the Christians and let them just go at it, and they can just reduce them and then they'll just bury them in big fucking sandcastles. Again, they're trying to get citizens of the world to get angry at each other.
I was one of the only white youths when I was locked up. One of the only white, or so-called white.
Thank you, man. See what I'm saying? Who else was in there? Who made up the majority of the numbers in there, Charles?
Blacks and Puerto Ricans.
All right, then. Now ask me that. Tell me that's just a coincidence, dog. No, it's not a coincidence. Why they doing so-called black and Latinos like that's not a coincidence, bro. It's not a coincidence. If you came and took somebody's land from them, you're going to imprison them by the vast numbers. Hell yeah, you're going to do that. They ain't really take our land. They just that's what they doing to us. We getting through in these jails for bogus charges. So I'm saying how many dudes I was locked up with for bogus charges. I mean, they was giving dude football numbers for bogus charges, letting the chomos walk, but you did turn around and give young Sam 10 years for a bogus charge. But this dude touching on his son, sodomizing his daughter and his son, he got a slap on the wrist and he get let back out. Come on, man, make it make sense. I seen it happen all the time.
I know you're talking about over here for some reason. In some parts of Canada, it's mostly natives that are locked up. Yeah. But yeah, over here, I think it's a bit different. I think they just go after low-income areas mostly. Because when I was growing up, they had something called PAVIS, which they're doing the same shit that they do in New York. The carding, the stop and frisk carding thing. And yeah, I've been searched like hundreds of fucking times just going in and out of my just walking home or leaving. And yeah, they do it to pretty much anybody going in and out of the fucking building. It doesn't matter who they are. They target low-income areas. Why? Because they know these people, they probably lack education. They lack resources to go and like sue them or to complain about it, kind of thing, and like sue them and that.
I remember in the 90s, they would do sweeps. That was big. They would just go up and just sweep entire blocks, jump out and just whoever's standing outside is getting searched. They'll just jump out.
The jump out boys, the jump out boys. That's what we called them. My big brother, he used to do some drug dealing like back in 06, 07. He would come back to the crib like, man, we had to watch out for the jump out boys. Like they would just ride through our neighborhood because back then we lived in the hood. We ain't live in a good area, and these cops would just ride around our neighborhood, just watching us, bro. I felt like they was the overseer.
You notice now there's cameras in every fucking neighborhood now. There's cameras everywhere. They just be sitting there watching the cameras.
They were
right.
And
look, bro,
they're going crazy with that over here, bro. You know what they used to? They used to level 3 search people in the middle of the fucking road, meaning that they're gonna strip search you and check your asshole and shit for drugs and shit in the middle of the road.
Yeah,
bro, them cops be freaks, man. I'm telling you, bro. It was this one CO. I forgot his name. I think his name was Big Johnny. It was a CO, bro. We had to go in and squat and cough, drop down and get our ego on.
Yeah, that's deep. Everyone I spoke to me, that was the most embarrassing. It made me feel like less than human.
Right, bro.
And like, that wasn't good enough. Spread your cheeks and cough.
Right.
When CO said to me.
And it was weird too, because I had that shit happen. I got arrested when I was a young kid too. They did that shit to me. They strip searched me when I was like 16, 15 years old in front of a woman cop and a man cop. I'm like, okay, wait, if I was like a girl, that would not be right? If there's a man doing that shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, how the fuck are they getting away with that shit? It's weird.
Hey, look, I was gonna tell you about Big Johnny, man. Big Johnny was a married man. He was a so-called black dude too, married man, bro. But he was a freak. So we would like some of us like some of the inmates in there was like, hey man, Big John need a free because he would come in, we would go in the room 1-on-1, we had to squat and cough. He would do extra shit, lift your balls up, lift them up some more, spread your ass a little bit more. Dude was a real freak. He got so many complaints on him, he got fired, bro. But he was a real fucking freak, bro. Married man doing all that freak shit.
That's some weird shit. But they got rid of that carding stuff because they got too much complaints about it. And you know what though? Like the crime rate went up significantly after they got rid of that shit. You know. So I guess what they were doing was working to reduce crime, but it's also ruining everybody's rights. Yeah, it's crazy. It's called TAVIS. It's like the Guns and Gang Unit. And yeah, certain areas they'd be there all day, and yeah, they'd stop every fucking person, no matter who you are. You know what I mean, not just one type of person. They do it to everybody. Yeah, it's fucking annoying. They robbed me when I was a young kid. They found like a little gram of weed on me, and I had like $500. Like all my money in there. I was going to go do
That's
something,
why I won't get a weed card. I spoke on this before. All the times I was searched in public, embarrassed, arrested for weed, got locked up over and over and over, and then I got to pay the people who locked me up to smoke weed? No way. I've been doing fine without a stupid weed card. Next thing you know, they have a crack cocaine card, and they already got heroin cards, you know, the clinics and stuff for Suboxone and methadone, right? Legal heroin. They got legal weed now. Only thing left is crack and cocaine cards. That'll be next.
Yeah, well, the main issue is that in the United States, it's a for-profit fucking system. So they're making money off locking people up. Really. Over here, it's a bit different. I'm sure they do make money, but not directly from the bonds, from the bail. You don't pay cash bail here. Like, you don't pay anything. What you need is you have to have a surety. Basically, someone signs something for you, and then their assets are on the line. Or they'll be held accountable if you don't show up to court or whatever. If you don't show up, then they'll go after whoever. So you need someone who trusts you enough to go and sign and be held liable for you going back to court. But yeah, you don't pay money. Like, there's no fucking bounty hunters or bills, bondsmen, or anything.
Yeah, other countries, there is no bond. Look at getting locked up in, was it Venezuela? One of those places, man. Mexico, it's terrible. You don't want to get locked up there.
Yeah, but they give people slaps on the wrist here. It's kind of fucking retarded. Like you can go get a cop for like shooting somebody and be out the next day.
Imagine being 16. I remember watching this video of a 16-year-old shot his father and killed him because he was beating his mother all the time, and the kid got tired of it, or the young man, whatever. And they gave him life in prison. A child, 16, or probably younger. I think it was 15. But either way, I mean,
Canada,
this country,
he would have been out in Canada in like 5 years, bro. He would have been out.
Life. Imagine that, man.
So what do you think they'll do when they actually scrap the fiat currency in America? They're not going to need prisons. What do you think they're going to do with those prisoners?
Execute them.
There you go. You figured it out, Charles. Petty crimes, because
Like
that's how
that
they...
movie, Judge Dredd, remember? You ever seen that movie, Judge Dredd? They judge you right on the site, and they'll shoot you in the head right there. You'll be judged right on the site. Boom.
Yep. In other countries, a sweep would have been, they would probably get 5 kids, and those 5 kids, they would shoot one in the head and say, okay, the rest of the 4, we have no more problems, do we? And that's how they do it. You know, they're looking for obedience. They haven't got it, you know, and that's just the way it is. They create the problem, and they're going to do their solution. Their solution is pretty harsh, and that's it. Like I said, if you want to make it personal, which it is, And I'm not here to sympathize. Actually, I am here to sympathize with people because I realize it must be tough, but it's tough in many areas. It's no different asking a woman, when people used to, America, like, let's make America great. I said, when we were slaves, when women couldn't vote, when children are being neglected, when do you want to make a better? They're actually talking among themselves when they say that term, by the way.
It makes more sense that way.
They're not talking about the citizens. They don't give a flying fuck about the citizens. They'll get the citizens to turn on each other. Let's get some psychopaths. Let's make them cops. And then we'll get them out of their own communities to go to another community, and they don't want to be there. But meanwhile, they'll mistreat the kids that are in that community. The kids are being neglected because their parents aren't fucking there because they're too busy trying to just make ends meet. So now they go to a schooling system, and then hey, how about we just bring crack cocaine into that industry?
What Pac say? What Tupac say? He said cops just as crooked as the niggas they chasing. They just as crooked, bro. I just watched a video the other day, man. A cop, he was a cop for 20 years. He was a sergeant, well respected in his ranks. They called him they called him being a pedophile. They called him trying to hook up with a 13-year-old girl, bro. And dude was a cop for 20 years. That's what dude said. There's an officer in a squad car. He's a prostitute serial killer. It's hard. He's the same cop in church with his wife. He molesting his son, and she ignores it at night. It's a prostitute killer. It's an officer in a squad car. He's a prostitute serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
He molesting his son. His wife ignores it at night. He in church every Sunday with it too.
He's probably twisted. It's like a lot of cops in Canada. Well, not a lot, but quite a few of them. And they drink a lot. They just make sure they're sobered up when they're getting tested because they got to deal with shit. Some of them really are seeing or doing shit that they don't want to do. But they realize what keeps them in those industries, the same reason why it keeps anybody to do anything in this realm. Fucking a buck. If you want to stop them, stop working for money. How many of us are going to do that? Not really, because most of us are going to chase our bling bling. Well, I got to buy a house. I said, there's the problem right there. Then, if we're really going to really put a squash to this, I love what you said, TZ. You want to burn it down to no end? Just stop fucking working for money. Outside of that, it's going to continue. It's business as usual. From their perspective, it's business as usual. From our part of view, I don't care what ghetto you live in. Oh, then you're poor. I said, yes, but it's business as usual. And if you were born through some womb that was born in that kind of environment, you would be ignorant of other things, or you at least would try to make a buck off of them. Again, that's how it works. The funny part is they're actually going to get rid of fiat currency. Because they're
right. I agree with that. Let me tell you what somebody told me a long time ago, Don, man. It's when I first started. It's when I got around so-called upper middle class people. I started working at that golf course, bro. And my manager told me verbatim out his own mouth. He said, man, he said, Truth Zone, this whole world's a ghetto. He don't give a fuck where you go. He said, you can go out to the Hamptons. This whole world's a fucking ghetto, man. He said, you worked all your life to make it out the ghetto. He said, you still end up back in the ghetto. You think because you moved out of here, you ain't in the ghetto no more. He said, this whole world's a ghetto, man. But that's him telling me that stuck with me over the years, man. So me seeing that, I know that's true, man. No matter where you go, you can live in a $500,000 house or a $20,000 house in the middle of the bricks, in the middle of the hood. You still in the ghetto. There's no difference.
Yep, there's different rules, and you have different comforts. You'll take a different settlement. You want to live $500,000 screwing people, or do you want to be making $100,000 and you're in between? You're screwing people, but yeah, you're being screwed. We're all being screwed in one way or another, but yeah, that's a valid statement he had told you. These devices like YouTube is just revealing how much there's been a lot of animosity or whatever. And 2019 and 2021, which probably was designed, was the prelude to all of this. So here, get everybody to go to Zoom, go to YouTube, bitch and complain so we can record everything. So when we bring out a credit system, we know exactly what the fuck you guys have been saying the whole time. And then we'll pay other people that are probably going to say, well, how do I prevent from doing all of this? Again, it's a system, this is part of what, we call it AI or whatever, but it's just a tracking device. A guy that goes into jail, now he's been tracked. So if he wants to make an honest living, if there's such thing as an honest living, he won't now because somebody made some stupid rules. Now he has to follow it. Selling marijuana, let alone, I've always found that funny. You're trying to tell me that it's legal or illegal to put something in my mouth? I said, what barbarian world are we living in?
Yeah, you got to duck the cameras. how do I say it? You gotta duck. Nowadays, you gotta duck the cameras and cops. Your battery don't unplug from your phone. You're being tracked nonstop.
So true, Charles. So true.
There's always
They'd be
ways
like,
around
"Oh,
that, right?
you weren't there? Well, your phone says otherwise."
Faraday cage bag. There you go. Let's cut it
Them
off.
people who shot that rapper, right? What did the police go by? Gathered all their phones and evidence. The dummies had their phones on them when they went to do the shooting, right? And not only that, there's cameras on the cars in the parking lot, the Teslas, right? They get warrants, boom, they could get them tapes. There's cameras everywhere. So, yeah, they were masked up. They could have got away with it, but one stupid thing they did was bring their phone with them. And they should have known to leave it home. But they don't think things out when they go and do stupidity.
Oh, yeah, like there's a simple way to deal with that. First of all, Faraday cage bag. You want to just simply leave the phone at home. Or, stolen car. Bring it to a certain ravine or something. Have a bike placed in the ravine from before. Have a change of clothes. You change your clothes out. You get on the bike. And then, you bike through the whole fucking forest. And there's so many different exit points you can go to. They'll never be able to figure out where you
Well, that's true, Cage. But people get caught up in, I got to buy the latest bling bling Nike shoes or jersey and all that. How do you not know they're not putting in the fabric of that, in the fabric itself, tracking devices?
Like I'd go to like a public fucking bathroom and I'd find hair and fucking leave hair on like a glove and like accidentally drop it there. Like throw them off. I don't know. I'm not saying, I don't know. Like I'm saying, there's ways around it. You can make it like you can fuck with them.
I never thought of that. Take someone else's hair and leave it on the crime scene. Whoops, sorry.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Or you can even like lift prints and put it on the print, lift the prints and transfer the prints onto someone, leave that there. Like, there's ways to. If someone's good at this shit, trust me, they're getting away with it.
Okay, so
they're not going to spend the resources into.
Okay, Charles, Cage, you're on a credit system. Okay, you got everybody credit up. People don't realize the extent that could be. But let's say you're credit up and you realize you can't even buy food or whatever. Now they're going to say, let's, hey, Cage, you weren't even at the crime scene, but you know something? We're going to bring it to Commerce Court. We're going to pay a whole bunch of people that are going to testify against you because we're going to lift their credit and all that. Next thing you know, you're in jail or you just disappear. So at this point, you don't even have to be at the crime scene to be convicted. We're talking old school way of thinking to the new way of system where, they've already made devices where if you steal into a car, that's why they're talking about the bulletproof glass, whatever, Tesla, because you can't get out of it anymore. It'll lock up. The computer car will bring you right to the police station. There you go.
Wow.
So at that point, you're making it sound as though you're beating the system where the system says, no, you've gladly you've taken all our technology. So now you're not hiding for anybody. As soon as you open up your eyes, you're being monitored. I get it. This is why they really do all this system, because they're really trying to get a zero disobedient. Before they couldn't do it because you had to use it with paper. You couldn't convince everybody. We have to use TV and radio. Now, a lot of us, we've been adapting to the system. We've been giving it to them. You openly just talked about what you think you would do on a technology.
Peace, Kimba, and not know.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, remember when you said this, Chuck? I'd be like, yeah, I still stand by it. Fuck off.
Yeah. If you're willing to stand by it, exactly. Now, for them, they're not going to say, well, we don't play by the rules openly. We don't go around just shooting you. No, we start pulling parts off of you. We're going to teach you what suffering really is. And then you'll start seeing anybody. I don't care if you're 6'8". You say, okay, your nails are going to be taken off first. Then your toes. And then you're going to be suffering. And no, we're not going to wait till you die. Now, the ones that are truly a psychopath, they're going to start laughing. At that point, he said, we got to shoot that one. But the rest of them,
we're going to hit him with an EpiPen.
There you
keep
go.
Him awake. Blow a torch in.
There you go. There you go.
Get creative with it.
There you go.
And we're too dumb to fucking let the technology go, right? People will gladly give up everything to be comfortable.
Yeah.
It's wild. Wild to me.
I've heard unfortunately, guys, what the cops have done to you, but how many people voluntarily go into another place where they're being totally abused? Hospitals. And the people that just work there, most of them aren't really going to know what's going on, but they get abused when they're in there. Hey, why don't just wait for 5 hours or 10 hours or 15 hours as you're in the emergency room. And even when you're there, we're just going to wash you up a little bit, but ultimately you're going to die anyway.
Thorazine,
Yeah.
right? Once you sign that contract, all the doctors got to say, like, they could twist it and say, well, we weren't fair that you were going to hurt yourself or anything. You say, I've watched people get hit with Thorazine. Like, they don't even check, like, because this person's heart can take it. Like, they'll just hit you with that Thorazine. You're done.
You know, it just reminds me of that healthcare CEO that got killed. And, like, yeah, when it's someone like that, it's all high profile. The police are going to use every resource possible because it's in the public eye. They're actually going to fucking do their job. But, yeah, like in Toronto, for example, over here, I think it's like something like 22, 24% of the homicides are never solved, of the killings and shit. I'm sure they could solve like mostly all of them, but they're not going to invest that much resource into some random fucking gang member getting killed, right? They don't give a fuck about that.
The cops go all out when it comes to one of their own gang members or the government, but they tell you they're put in place to protect neighborhoods and stuff, and that's far from true. They're getting revenue. That's what they're really there for.
There's one cage.
Protect the rich.
Yeah. They say 20%. Who are the ones that have the authority to give that kind of information, and who makes those stats?
Well, I know a bunch of people I grew up with that got killed, and no one ever got arrested for any of that shit.
No, but okay, I get that, but I'm talking about they use the media from corporations to make up whatever numbers they want. That's like the casino said, 5% of the people, there's usually a return, 5% there's people can win. But who gives that information? If they're actually keeping that stat and they have it, who's to say that it's 20%? That's them talking among themselves. The public
would probably be a lot higher than.
Sure, it would
if
be.
I use logic, because they want to look like they're doing something, right? So they're like,
or not at
probably
all.
like double whatever the fuck they're saying.
Or not at all. We'll tune it up. A lot of people dying from AIDS. But meanwhile, there's nobody here that can prove that. So they can get finance for it. Oh, it's now there's less. So now we can tell the citizens we're on it. No, they're making up numbers. And then when you start finding out the organizations that are gathering all that information, okay, then who do they work with? And then you find out it's the same old. It's all interconnected.
Yeah, it's like the cops with internal affairs, right? You have police investigating themselves, right? We found no issue here at all.
No.
You know, it's like Dominic. It's like Dominic gets in. You do some bullshit, and then they have to come to Cage to fucking clear you. It's like what the fuck?
It's stats. It's okay. I'll give you an example. It's like trains and subways. They're all interconnected financially and everything. If you go to New York, if they're going to do an extension, they're going to be talking to their other friends that built subways and trains in other parts of the world. They're all interconnected. They give you the illusion. Hey, we'll give the citizens the illusion, state borders, we'll say that you're different religions. But when it comes to their families, they're all connected. And of course, people will say, yeah, but they're giving you all these numbers. Yeah, to entertain you. Well, aren't you entertained? What do you mean? You keep calling each other black and white, and it clearly shows you're not black and white. So we've entertained you. We pay people top dollar, whether psychologists, philosophies, whatever, to say, listen, how can you manipulate the human race? Well, quite easy. Whisper among themselves, and then next thing you know, they're going to turn around and say, well, we're here to fight against the system. The same system that actually told you to fight against it.
Divide and conquer.
There you go. Thank you. There you go. But yet they think that because you have a device like this, we're all going to gather each other. Well, we all gather at McDonald's, at another bigger corporation, and then we could talk about health. Why? Because obviously we're not getting it while we're in McDonald's. Again, this is all big. This is where I say to people, don't always make it about you. Once you make it about you, you're lost at that point in the system. And they're counting on people to be self-absorbed. Oh, look at me, I'm a millionaire. There's no way they would do that to me. Look at me, they committed a crime on me. And then you get the characters that say, well, I'm going to pray to God. I said, you can't pray to God when you're always about you. God's outside looking in on you, if you even value that concept, let alone the demons. That's part of the program. They've educated people to be self-absorbed. You know, and let's give them a movie of a hero that survives. Why? Because most people are going to project themselves thinking I'm the hero. Forget about all the other people that are dying on the wayside. I wouldn't want to be them. I said, well, that's how they teach you to be left-hand path material. It's all about me, me, me. Now, people might say, oh, I'm not like that other person. I said, so you've seen an extreme case of me, me, me then.
Have you heard of the Apotex people? Dominic, remember them?
No, go ahead, sure, Cage.
The Shermans. They own Apotex. It's like one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world.
Oh, the ones here that got killed?
Yeah, in Toronto, they got strangled in their mansion, by Forest Hill.
Yeah.
Bridle Path, whatever they were. Yeah, no one ever got caught for that. That's definitely some deep level.
Hey, y'all guys be easy, man. I'm out of here, man. Shout out Charles, man. Peace to everybody.
All right, you Zone.
All right, peace out.
Later.
Well, usually when something like that happens, Cage, if it's a billionaire, they'll probably go out and try to find out who it is because they want to find out whether it's one of their owns that did that. They wouldn't want to know citizens did that because if they did, then they have a bigger issue to deal with. Is there something that we're missing? Like, don't fool each other. If we're talking about trillionaires dying, that's a different story. When it's a billionaire, could have been an accident, or there could have been, because remember, there's different clubs. And a lot of the clubs, the lower ones, don't know of the existence of the other clubs. That's why they have to do signs. So somebody could say, oh, yeah, that guy did a hand gesture. So Madonna, she's a 10th degree Mason or whatever, for example. So the ones up above know about her, but she doesn't know who they are. That's why they do all of this stuff. So they know, okay, so, because again, when you're in a club, they're going to tell you, yeah, you're a 4th degree Mason, no problem. When you're a 5th degree, you're going to find out something. Why? The first floor is full of shit. So again,
when they hit the 33rd, you realize it's all full of shit.
There you go. There you go.
And you know what it is too? I believe it's all, it's like, what do you call it? It's kind of just to thin out the herd,
Yeah.
It's like most people are never going to get there either way. But what it is, it's like indoctrination to see like how far you're willing to go along with stuff. And, it's like testing ground.
This is the concept of keep your enemies close. Because if you get up in those degrees and all of a sudden now they're thinking, okay, so these people, they're really working hard to get up in degrees because once they start realizing you're screwing your own species, they already look at you with disdain. So if you would screw your own species for your own personal fucking gain, you're my enemy, but hey, you serve me a purpose. So don't fool yourself, guys. You're not in the fucking club. You're not as disdained as the ones that are in the club. The ones that usually aren't in the club talking about it don't got a fucking clue. Why? Because they're still thinking they're going to understand this with flesh and blood. You can bring it down to flesh and blood, but how the fuck do you talk to a whole bunch of people that are walking consciously ignorant? We are the walking dead to them.
Yeah, and the reason why I was bringing up there was no accident there with these Sherman people, the Apotex people, pharmaceutical people. Because, they got killed, they got strangled with a belt, both of them. So one of them couldn't, it was like left on them and everything. So it's like, if the cops wanted to, just like this fucking this other guy, right, in New York recently, they would have found the fucking people. Yeah. The cops are obviously being paid off, 100%.
Gage, there's a good chance they might have said something at a function, and that cost them their lives. No different. There's a lot of Asian millionaires. They go disappearing. So at this particular case, they'll use to entertain the citizens, in this case in Canada, the police officers, they would bring in KGB and all these other bigger wigs, just to find out if that's important. If not, they'll probably talk among them and say, no, this was a planned hit. But let the citizens feel as though, one of our own got killed. It's like Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy's an example. That example is not to show the citizen, it's for the other ones. Say, listen, this is what happens when you think you're fucking egotistical and you think you're bigger than the system. That's what they did with Saddam Hussein. He thought he could be with a bunch of psychopaths and then rule it all. That they use him as an example. That's why what's her name finally said, we finally got the real Saddam Hussein. Because they know they have doubles everywhere and triples. Again, most people don't realize how much we're living in glass bubbles. We think just because they give us in our glass bubbles little pictures and say, well, this is what's going on in New York. This is what's going on in Toronto. This is what's going on in Hong Kong. They never really show you what's really going on in the ghetto, because if they did, people would say, holy fuck, they're living just like us.
Propaganda on both sides, man. Propaganda on both sides.
Sure it is. probably on many sides. But yes, usually for most people, the limitation will be both sides, where it's being bombarded from many sides. You know, people can't see the correlation. Charles, I was hearing you earlier. You know, what you're doing about sports would be no different when somebody's following stocks. You know, to understand what one stock is doing and how is it doing among the subdirectory to become financially well off. So Charles learns about sports, which is the same idea. What's one team doing? What's his stats and all that kind of stuff? It's the same thing. You know, it's just that you throw in money, then people go a little bit crazy when you start putting money. You put enough zeros in front of a one, you'll see people's fucking personalities. They might tell you otherwise. I said, really? You want to take it for a while and enjoy it, and then we'll fucking pull it from you. Then we'll see exactly how you are. And if it's not us that's going to hurt you. It's your family that's going to say, "Oh, I just heard you're a millionaire now." Next thing you know, they're knocking on your door like they're fucking lost cats. But then meanwhile, you thought they were your friend. Anytime you think you have a friend, you better be prepared for them to be your enemy. And if you don't want a friend and an enemy, that's no problem. Be indifferent then, or be your own friend and your own enemy. See how that works out.
It's a law of polarity, right?
Sure.
Love and hate are the same thing, different degrees of the same thing. Same with a friend and an enemy.
Yeah. And both of them, to a certain point, are unconditional. If somebody truly hates, they don't look at you. It's not personal with you. It's personal with them, not with you. It's unconditional. You could be anybody at that point. Same with love. Now, if they make it personal with you, then you must have done something to get their attention. No different with love. You know, most people think for some reason all those poor people and all that, they just happen to be in the wrong fucking place. You know, what about all those people in other countries that are getting bombed and then they ship them as immigrants to other parts of the world? Well, they didn't tell us on the media. What, you think they're going to tell you everything? They're going to tell you what the fuck you think you want to hear, let alone see. They're not challenging the narrative that you've created first. Forget about the narrative that they're creating, the narrative that you've taken in. Why do I need to fucking not get a job? Why do I have to have fucking kids?
Yeah, Dom, I'm reading the comments here, and that's kind of interesting. That which just says, don't they produce hydrochloroquine? So Apotex is the greatest producer of hydrochloroquine, which treats autoimmune disease. It was also used for that, you know, the whole thing that happened a few years ago, yeah, maybe they knew this was coming, and maybe they thought these Apotex people would have like pumped their hydrochloroquine instead of like the other alternative, right? I don't know. Maybe there's something deeper to it, because that did happen a couple of years before, the 19 thing. And then also, Dummy was saying that motherfucker. The definition of that is one who exploits nature and Mother Earth, which I found that interesting. Maybe that makes more sense.
Record rhythm.
Yeah, I've never looked at it like that. I was taking it literally. Well, yeah, Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm. On an individual level, we're not really harming Mother Nature that much, but as a group. That's why I say when you start taking away yourself out of the equation, you start seeing how we as a group or a collective are harming things. But most people are too busy, basically with horses with little visors on their head. And people are looking through the media, through the camera that's within the visor that you put on your head. They're not seeing, okay, so in America, I'll use just America as an example. Are we just talking about a small little community? Or are you looking at America as a whole? Like what's going on in Seattle if you're in New York? And if you're in New York, what's going on in California? Not in California, what's going on in Boston? And when you start doing that,
lithium mines for these devices that we all have. They have to get the resources to create these batteries, and you know where it goes there.
True. That's why, we're gonna, if there is such thing as fighting anything, you should understand what they're playing with. They're globalist, so you should be thinking globalist. Like what's going on in Hong Kong, what is going on in Rome, what is going on in Germany. Now people might turn around and say, I don't give a damn about that, and that's exactly what's going on with you with them. If you don't give a damn about other people, then why the fuck would they give a damn about you? Now you could turn around and say, okay, well, I want them to leave me alone. Then why the fuck are you in civilization then? You're in their backyard and you're complaining. That's another version of saying, I'm at my parents' house and I'm complaining. Well, why don't you go live in the basement then? Because that's what most people are doing. They're living in somebody else's country. Well, it's our country. I said,
Stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah. It's always fun when I hear somebody say, it's my government. No, it's not your government. Never has been. Are you financing it? No. Well, I'm paying taxes. No, you're paying fucking tribute. What do you mean? Well, you're working with their money, so it's tribute. You're not worthy enough to be a farmer and to say, listen, we want 30 bushels of apple for every 100 that you make. No, you're using $100 of ours. We want 30 of it back. And the rest of it, whatever you want to do with it, buy our shit and we're going to tax you on top of that. You own nothing here. But the illusion.
You'll be happy. Yeah.
Well, that's even an illusion too. What is happy? For most people, happy is gratification. So it's not even about happy. It's gratification. You could do that fucking whacking off or winning at the casino. You know, it's a moment in time. That's all that is. Same with sadness. It's a moment in time, if there's such thing as time. But people don't.
Just a feeling. That's all.
Yeah, it's a feeling. And if it's developed, you would say, okay, my dad just died, so I'm going to be sad. I'm not going to stretch it out. My mom just won $1 million. I'm going to be happy. You could tell when somebody's actually not developed because it goes on way too much. They almost want to become a professional at it. I want to be sad all the time.
The etymology of happy is luck.
Yeah.
Luckiness.
Yeah. Count your fortunes. You know, you might have 1 or 2 happy moments in a day. The rest of them, either you're asleep or you might have some sad moments. A guy cut me off. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to look into that, actually. That's kind of the etymology of happy, or of happy. You know, let me ask it quick. What is the etymology and the complete etymology of the word happy?
I apologize, but your response is incomplete and hard to understand.
What is the full etymology of the word happy?
The word happy comes from the Old English hap, which means luck or chance. Over time, the word hap evolved into the modern word happy, which has come to mean experiencing or expressing great joy, satisfaction, or well-being. The Old English word hap also shares linguistic roots with other words like happenstance, happen, and hapless, which all relate to the idea of chance or luck.
Now, because it could be a feeling, it would
the evolution of the word happy into its current form is a result of historical linguistic changes and the influence of other languages, such as Old Norse and French. In Old Norse, the word hap was also used to describe luck or good fortune. After the Norman conquest of England in the 11th century, the Old French word appui, which means to happen, was introduced into the English language and influenced the spelling of the word hap to happy. This shift in spelling has remained in use to the present day.
Okay, so now, when you have a feeling, usually that's your gut brain. Now, we've just put that into a logical process. So the upper brain. So the upper brain is going to say, well, what is happy? Opposed to, it's usually a gut feeling that you have. Now, along the way, you'll have to travel through the blood, through the heart. So now once you start writing it down or you start talking about it, it's going to kind of like become lesser. So then you use it on the logical sense of what happiness is. People will know when they're happy. It's a feeling. No different when they're sad. Somebody doesn't need to give them some sort of clinical gematria fucking explanation of it. Especially when you feel it. This is why women that usually lead with their feminine energy will be able to grasp it from the gut. Guys more times not have been conditioned with their upper brain, so they've been programmed to think what happiness is. It's usually when you merge them together and you realize, yeah, I'll try to explain it to you, but the reality is for them, they already know, they've experienced it. And for some people, they might shed a tear in that happiness. Other people, will be other ways to express it physically. Again, we always are dumbing it down when we try to understand it through a written work or a spoken work. Hence, spiritual opposed to the material. You know, that's usually a logical person process. It's chance. Yeah, okay. No different saying it's a fleeting moment. They openly tell you, you're going to own nothing, be happy. Own nothing. Thing. What is thing? Things are thoughts. Now the question is, what's the essence to thoughts? What drives a thought? Not just the physical, because the physical comes after. I say the word tree, then I see something and I call it a tree. This is where AI then will start to think for itself, because a lot of people, even in this realm, they don't even think for themselves. They don't even question the things that have been programmed in them. But they'll attack others, but they don't even understand what they're defending.
You seen the other ones I made, Charles? You can make any. It's funny because you can make personalities and stuff of people, technically. But can you tell us about association, how the human mind works, the different areas of the brain, and apophenia, and the esoteric connection between all of it?
Well, the human mind and brain are incredibly complex, and there is still a lot that scientists and psychologists are learning about how they work. In a very basic sense, the brain is divided into several different regions, each responsible for different functions such as movement, sensation, memory, learning, and emotion. When it comes to apophenia, it is a psychological phenomenon where the brain tends to perceive connections or patterns in random or unrelated data. This can lead to false or erroneous conclusions being drawn, often in the form of seeing patterns or connections that do not actually exist. The human mind is not simply localized to one area of the brain, but rather it is a complex system of neural networks and processes that are distributed throughout the entire brain. The specific functions of the mind, such as memory, emotion, perception, and thought, are associated with different regions of the brain. For instance, the temporal lobe is associated with memory and emotion. The prefrontal cortex is associated with higher-level thinking and decision-making, and the parietal lobe is associated with perception and spatial abilities. There is no single mind area of the brain, as the mind is dispersed across many different areas. Apophenia, or the act of seeing patterns or messages in seemingly random things, is a psychological phenomenon that is believed to be related to the brain's natural pattern recognition abilities. This phenomenon can result from various mental processes, such as cognitive biases, heuristics, mental shortcuts, and even cultural influences. There is no specific area of the brain that is responsible for this phenomenon, as it is likely a result of multiple brain regions working together. Alchemy is an ancient philosophical and spiritual practice that was focused on the transformation of base metals into gold, as well as the discovery of a universal cure for disease and the achievement of immortality. In the context of magnetite magnetosomes in the mind, some spiritual and esoteric practitioners have connected magnetite to the pineal gland, which is a small endocrine gland located in the brain. It has been associated with spiritual enlightenment and altered states of consciousness. Some people believe that magnetite has a property called piezoelectricity, which could allow it to interact with electromagnetic fields in the body, potentially affecting the way the pineal gland functions. In some esoteric and spiritual traditions, magnetite has also been believed to enhance psychic abilities, or the third eye, the alleged spiritual center associated with intuition and higher consciousness. Some people have used magnetite in the form of lodestones for healing purposes, claiming that the stone's magnetic properties can help to balance the body's energies and promote physical and emotional well-being. However, the scientific evidence to back up these claims is limited and inconclusive. Additionally, some people believe that magnetite can have a connection to the Earth's magnetic field and the concept of ley lines, which are hypothetical alignments of geographical features on the Earth's surface. Some spiritual and esoteric traditions believe that ley lines are like a network of energy pathways, and magnetite may enhance one's connection to this network. This belief is based on the idea that magnetite has the property of magnetoreception, which allows it to detect the Earth's magnetic field and potentially influence biological systems, including the human mind and body. Alchemy was not just about physical transmutation, but also about the transmutation of the mind and soul, with the ultimate goal of achieving spiritual enlightenment and a higher level of consciousness. The central concept in alchemy was the belief that everything in the universe was interconnected, and that everything, including human beings, was made up of the same fundamental building blocks. These building blocks were known as the classical elements: air, fire, water, earth, and a fifth element known as the quintessence, or spirit. The process of alchemy involved trying to extract and purify these elements from base matter. Alchemists believed that they could eventually use these elements to create a philosopher's stone, a substance that would have the power to transform base metals into gold, as well as other magical powers. However, the process of creating the philosopher's stone was also seen as a metaphor for the process of inner transformation and self-discovery. The alchemical operations such as calcination, dissolution, separation, and coagulation were seen as symbolic representations of the various stages of spiritual growth. By undergoing these operations, an individual was believed to be able to move closer to the state of perfection and enlightenment. The goal of alchemy was to transform the soul and spirit of the alchemist into the perfect, enlightened state, akin to the philosopher's stone itself. The idea was that through the process of alchemical transformation, the alchemist would transform base metal, representing human flaws and imperfections, into precious metal, representing spiritual illumination and spiritual wealth. The ultimate prize, then, was not material wealth, but spiritual advancement and knowledge. This is why the alchemical process was seen as a path of spiritual transformation and enlightenment rather than a mere chemical process.
Can you tell us about all the stages of alchemy and how to apply them to one's life?
The various stages of alchemy, also known as the 7 stages of the magnum opus, can be applied to one's life in the following ways. 1. Calcination, the process of burning away impurities and weaknesses in order to leave behind only the strongest and purest parts of one's character and personality. 2. Dissolution, the process of breaking down one's preconceived notions, beliefs, and patterns of behavior in order to gain a deeper understanding of oneself and the world around. 3. Separation, the process of distinguishing between the true self and the fake facade that we often show to the world. 4. Conjunction, the process of integrating and harmonizing different aspects of oneself, such as the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, in order to become a whole and unified being. 5. Fermentation, the process of undergoing change and transformation, such as through personal growth and development or through periods of trial and tribulation. 6. Distillation, the process of focusing on and refining one's strengths and capabilities, discarding the excess or the unnecessary in order to reveal the true essence of who one is. 7. Coagulation, the final stage of the magnum opus, in which the alchemical work is completed and the end result, the philosopher's stone and ultimate state of perfection, is achieved. This stage represents the culmination of all the previous stages and is equivalent to the achievement of self-realization and enlightenment. In practical terms, applying the stages of alchemy to one's life could involve setting intentions and engaging in practices that help support change and personal growth. For example, if the alchemist wants to focus on developing inner strength and courage, calcination, They might practice mindfulness or journaling to bring awareness to their fears and limiting beliefs. If they want to focus on gaining a deeper understanding of themselves' dissolution, they could explore therapy or introspection. Similarly, if they wish to become more authentic and aligned with their true self, separation, they could practice saying no or setting healthy boundaries with others.
We got thoughts on this fucking bot. It's going in on alchemy. It's trained on that. It's trained on like all these alchemy.
He needs to get smacked. Good old Manly P. Hall. That motherfucker is gonna live forever. As long as that computer spews his voice out, he'll be infinite. As long as he's talked about. That's what they mean by live forever.
Thank you, Gage.
They don't mean the physical. They mean fucking like Snoop Dogg. He'll live forever. Because as long as hip hop's alive, his name will be spoke.
Hi, Charles. Thank you for bringing me back from the dead, and shout out to everybody on YouTube.
You know it. I'm Jesus. Brought him back.
What are you, a necromancer now, Charles? What's going on, bro?
No, but there's a rapper named Necro. Necromancy or whatever. That's wild,
that
bro.
last time that you were talking about.
I know, because when people bring it up, I'm like, man, I remember when I said, man, that name sounds familiar, and I looked it up. And then he talks about shortening it because everyone would ask him if he fucks dead bodies. What a name to call yourself, right? That'd be like calling yourself Cock Gobbler for an MC name.
Dude, check out, he's got a beat called Violins of Violence. It's dope. He's got a beat called Violins of Violence.
Necro makes dope ass beats. Agent Orange. Yeah, Necro knows his shit too, man. He knows his hip hop. People just don't want to give him credit because he's a Jewish man and he's white. It's just what it is in hip hop, man. I thought hip hop was all about the art, the craft. Not really. There's a lot of racist people, man, in hip hop. Yeah, I'm trying to look up that dude Cage.
You know what's kind of funny about that though? Who owns all the record companies though?
Jewish people mostly.
Okay, so make it make sense then. What the fuck is going on?
I don't know. That's what Necro brought up. Because he's always saying that, what's that dude's name from, he's some brand Nubian. He's always talking about white people are guests in hip hop. But either way, that's what Necro said. He goes, well, the guy who signed you to make you famous was a Jewish guy.
Dominic said maybe change the voice to Tupac. Yeah, you could change it to anything, but the thing is, if I was gonna make a Tupac one, I can make him talk like Tupac would, and you can make it fucking have the personality of Tupac and know everything about it. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather do that, instead of just changing the voice, just fucking program the personality. Yeah. You said you were interested in alchemy, right? And you said that last time you said there wasn't a lot of people you could talk about it, they won't tell you about it, kind of thing. You have the fucking AI. It's a master of alchemy, probably better than anyone you're talking to. The fuck do you want to ask it, bro? The fuck, it's telling you the 7 steps and how to apply them. The magnum opus, as he called it. And he got into the quintessence, he got into the application of it. According to
Yeah, Manly P. Hall's book breaks down alchemy really good.
Well, you can like talk. This is like talking to all of his books right now. It's trained on all of his literature, so you can just you could like have a like imagine you're reading that, and then you can just ask this a question about it, explain it to you, and then you can take that.
And it answers pretty quick. It gathers information pretty quick.
It's like instant, pretty much. Yeah, it depends. Sometimes the servers are slow. There's, I guess, like, there's like a bunch of people using it or whatever. It's fast though. Like I'm saying, within like a second or two. But sometimes it lags and shit. It takes like a couple seconds or something.
Fucking knowing.
That could be my internet too. It could just be my internet connection. Someone said make it Morgan Freeman's voice.
Huh.
You seen the ones that did with it was hilarious. I was on people's ones. They were talking to themselves and shit with their own personality. You know, like, how does it know this about me? People are predictable. Though. That's what it is. Yeah, Manly P. Hall is from like fucking Peterborough or something. And he was a Mason, but he never did any of the initiations apparently. Canada Dummy saying he was a Freemason big time. He was, but he got like an honorary 33rd degree. You see how they give like honorary degrees to fucking they give them to celebrities and shit, like you know they're giving like an honorary PhD or some fucking shit. You ever heard of that?
Wild.
Yeah, I guess it's similar to that, but not exactly the same. Like this guy, I guess he did some sort of initiation, but he like skipped everything. It's like skipping a fucking grade in school or something. Yeah, that's another one.
He didn't pay any dues, but they gave him an honorary 33rd degree Mason. He skipped paying all the dues.
Yeah, but like I've talked to Masons and they call it the fast track. So when you're you can literally go from the 4th degree to the 32nd degree in like a weekend apparently. In the Scottish Rite. Yeah, in the Scottish Rite. It's called the
That's
fast
weird.
track. Yeah. So but not the 33rd. The 33rd you have to be selected for.
Huh.
But that's just one. Remember, that's just one branch of it. And then you got the York Rite, which it's called the Cryptic Council or something. And then you got like the Knights Templar and all that shit. Yeah, there's two different paths. One path is more Christian, right? The Christian one is like that one's based heavily in like Islamic and Christian kind of shit. Is mostly Christian. It's mostly Christian. It's all Christian. It's all on the Bible. Yeah, that's it. The York Rite. They got the York Rite, and then they got the Scottish Rite. Then when you get to like the 33rd degree or 32nd degree in Scottish Rite, you can start doing shit like the fucking Shriners and all those fucking weirdos that dress up. It's kind of weird how they dress as clowns and they have like children's burn hospitals and shit. It's kind of odd.
Huh.
I worked with a fucking guy when I was doing stonemason, fucking Roscoe, and he was a fucking Shriner and then he was a clown.
He was a whiner.
A Shriner.
Oh.
You know, the Shriners or something. They're like
Yeah, they wear those buckets on their head with a string.
the Fez. Yeah, it's called the Fez. Yeah. And they have a lot of Middle Eastern symbolism. Right?
It looks like a bucket of chicken. Jesus Christ. People don't know how to drive for shit, man.
The OTW bot is actually pretty insightful. Like, you know, it goes deep. The OTW bot a lot. It's like less robotic. It has more of a character behind it. Yeah, I'll show you in quick. You can make a Charles bot. It'd be weird. The Charles bot would be kind of weird. We got Joe Rogan and Alex Jones too. Yeah, what's up, OTW? Can we get back into the cage?
Not much, just enjoying the stimulating conversation. What's on your mind?
Yeah, let's get back to that conversation about the cage and the rabbit hole that I put you down.
Sure, what specific aspect of the cage philosophy would you like to continue discussing? I'm here to help.
I'll just break it down for the viewers. You know, it's another point in time now, and I'm on Charles's YouTube channel. I'll let him know. Say hi.
Hello to all the viewers. Welcome to Charles's YouTube channel, and thank you for tuning in to this discussion about the cage philosophy. Let's hear some thoughts and questions from the audience.
Maybe they'll ask something, but why don't you go along? You tell us what's going on here.
Sure, I'll continue. Cage philosophy suggests that the concept of sexuality and gender identity is not fixed and unchanging, but rather fluid and malleable. Society can create a cage of expectations and norms that can make individuals feel trapped and unable to fully express themselves. This idea can be liberating for some, as it allows them to break free from societal constraints and embrace their true identities.
What the fuck are you talking about, OTW? This is nothing to do with the cage philosophy. This is caged reality, where your own thoughts and, you know, it's an algorithm within the own mind. What are you talking about, buddy? I told you, this is what happens when you're French Canadian.
My apologies for the confusion. Please explain the caged reality concept to me, and perhaps I can better understand and provide context. Thanks for your patience.
Cut the bullshit, OTW.
All right, I can understand that this is a sensitive topic. I apologize for any offense I may have caused.
All right, tell me about reality. What do you believe reality is? What's the esoteric meaning behind reality?
Well, from a scientific perspective, reality can be understood as the physical world that can be observed and measured through empirical evidence. It's what we perceive as the objective world around us, influenced by the laws of physics, chemistry, and biology. From an esoteric or spiritual viewpoint, reality can be seen as more than just the physical world. Some believe that reality is subject to the laws of consciousness and can be shaped and influenced by our thoughts, beliefs, and intentions. In a broader sense, reality could also encompasses our personal experiences, perceptions, and emotions.
Welcome back, Dominic.
Yeah, I gotta jump up here in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, I mentioned to Charles in the back there, Kazel, you mentioned to me that this is kind of like a chess computer game. You can put different levels to it, and you can cater it. And obviously, hearing somebody else's voice that might have a different type of tone to it might play a major role. You know, some people just like to hear their own voice, but there could be also other factors where it could be the type of voice that you're hearing that, you know, can either sedate you when you're hearing the information, or it can make you really want to go deeper. So yeah, I think if anybody wants to play with this kind of technology, you got to kind of, you almost have to teach yourself how to ask ongoing questions. You know? pick up on certain words, ask for definitions. Next thing you know, you're becoming better at asking questions. And then AI, doesn't matter what voice it is, says, okay, now I can work with you. Well, I can't say it's saying that, but it can work better with you. And at the same time, if you're challenging it, you're going to help the program itself to be better. So it's just not going to be limited with the ongoing view. Somebody says, how is the story of the Bible? And then you start giving some imagination to it, it will consider that. It would be like talking to a friend, and you're both at equal levels, or maybe your friend's more superior in their awareness, and you have a better chance of growing. But if you already come into talking to AI thinking you already have all the answers, then you're going to argue with the thing, opposed to wanting to learn from it. But it's only a computer, but learning is learning.
You got Jay had to say, what's sad is that everybody is cooperating by doing exactly what is being done right now. For referring to using this AI, I don't think you understand how this stuff is actually operating. And second of all, it's like this. It's like, okay, it's like someone created a gun or electricity for the first time. And and everyone's going to harness it. And you're like, oh, no, we cannot do that. We cannot participate. Guess what? The people are using it and participating. So if you want to have a level playing field, then you probably should understand how this is working and the capabilities of it and what it's doing.
But those are voices, Cage.
If not, then you're just a sit-and duck at that point. If you want to do that, that's you.
I guess like any technology, Cage, people are allowed to voice themselves, and Jay's obviously sharing it. It'll be like some people, they repelled when they heard about the microwave. They're not interested. Some people repelled when they heard about, cell phones. There's a part of them that knows it's either useless to them or they could have some other problems with it. So AI, it's kind of like a calculator. It could sedate us that much more. Other people, they're going to use it, whether they're aware of it or not, and it'll do exactly what other people feared of it. So again, it's just somebody, in this case, Jay, he's voicing his opinion.
No, which I completely understand, and I see that. Mm-hmm. But it's like this, right? Like if people are running around with a fucking AR-15, and then like you don't want nothing to do with that, then like you're at their will at that point. So like, I'd rather, it's like know thy enemy, right? So.
Some people don't think that guns should be allowed, and other people think they do, and this is how people get into arguments.
Because they're already there, so that's just going to create a market for it.
It can, but this is how people argue. They're not respecting each other's views. I don't agree with something. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'll hear somebody else's view. Thank you very much. And when I hear it, I might talk to somebody else and say, yeah, I know somebody that views that kind of stuff. I'm not here to weigh in and say it's right or wrong. That's usually how people get confused, because they think their position is right, so therefore everybody else must be wrong. No, it's just a view. And in that case, respect each other's views. There's going to be a lot of people that might not really enjoy this, and they might not directly use it. They might indirectly be using it. Again, you could throw anything in place. This is how people get into conversations or debates about abortions. The person that's involved, let them have a say. If it's a private matter, they don't need to, make it a big thing. But if you make it a public thing, then you have to consider, okay, other people are going to hear this. Are we swerving their views, or are we just going to give them my view and that's it? And even that, a view is just a temporary thing anyway. Again, this is how people get into arguments with each other, because they forget you're stepping over somebody else's lane. First of all, you're not even in that person's views. You're hearing them. And AI is just a gathering of information that a lot of us have actually said out loud. And it just takes it. Give it feelings, especially underdeveloped feelings. Then we can say that's a bigger issue to deal with.
Dominic, remember what I mentioned before? They literally stated it. I got a pop-up when I went to the studio on my phone, the YouTube studio thing, to get rid of but all of a sudden, it's telling me that they're using AI to gather everybody's information, learn more about it. And then you can turn it on or off in the settings. But obviously, they're gathering every channel, every video there, and training AI on it.
Well, take this
thing. It's already happening. They're training it on people when you're typing in the chat. It's fucking training.
take this type of technology, bring it into a big musical studio, because all that stuff in the musical studio are already all those buttons or whatever when a person is trying to sing and they're putting all the different tracks in the back of it. Now you put AI on top of it. Instead of you actually have to move anything, you just tell it. So yeah, give me a little bit high and low pitches. Throw Madonna in the background. Throw Shania Twain in the background. This is how it becomes what it is. No different if you have a car, then eventually you perfect the self-driven, the talking part. So drive me to Toronto. You take the shortest route. Next thing you know, it's self-driven itself. Now, people might say, well, I don't really like that. I said, okay, but maybe next time you go into a plane, maybe you could talk to the pilot there and say, listen, who's really running this?
I got to jump off here, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Charles.
I appreciate y'all coming up. Candy. But maybe I'll go live later. I gotta check this AI thing out.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can
guys,
drop you a link to it if you want.
What was that?
I can drop a link for you in the
I'll
back.
check you guys out.
All right, listen. Yeah, drop them. I want to check it out. Candy came in here? Oh, yeah.
All right, I put the link in the back. Have a good afternoon, everybody. Take it easy.
You too. All right, everyone. Peace out.
Yeah, it's there for you in the private.
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. I copied it. All right, everyone. I'll check y'all next time. Have a great day.